you ready? I said, are you ready for Let's Talk Whoa Hockey? And now, here are our hosts, Beth and Zach.
Don't mind me just forgetting to unmute myself. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 48 of Let's Talk Whoa Hockey, brought to you as always by 5 in a Game Sports Network. I'm your girl, Beth, joined by my dude, Zach. How you doing today, buddy?
Doing good. Been mostly doing a lot of house stuff, working on the office, stuff like that. Got the desk kind of set up, got the TV entertainment center set up, got the bookcases set up. So trying to set up books in a certain way. It's like genre specific, sports specific. It's getting there. Yeah, just a lot going on. But the body is kind of like telling me, hey, you need to take a break at some point. So how are you doing?
Get that. I am doing well. It was a good week for Blackhawks fans, albeit still confusing, but it's fine. So, I mean, You can't not be happy about that. And, you know, we've got a lot of things that have happened in the last even like 2 days to talk about. So can't really.
I guess the Hawks kind of figured out what we were about ready to do our first hockey episode in probably a couple weeks. And I'm like, all right, let's just give them all the kinds of content.
Let's just give them things to talk about. So
outside of just like the basic stuff, let's just add some extra things on top because why not? Let's
add a few sparkles in there. And I mean,
had some spice and drama to the puck. It's like not only the PHF is not the only thing that does drama and spicy things. Welcome to the Blackhawks,
right? And I mean, this past week of games was insane. So this week's the Hawks are 4-0. Not 0-4. You heard me right the first time. They are 4-0, and they beat like good teams, like teams in playoff standing positions. And
for the fact the fact that your board says 20 wins, it's kind of like we didn't even say they were going to hit 15, and somehow they're at 20.
And somehow the Blackhawks have decided to wake up from their full season slumber. That, let's be honest, like
and then Patty Kane goes just old school Patty Kane and absolutely knowing you're like, okay, cool.
I truly feel like a lot of the Patrick Kane stuff this past week, because obviously, you know, trade deadline's coming up. It's this time next week. Anytime a big name like Ryan O'Reilly or someone along those lines gets traded, all of a sudden they're talking about how Patrick Kane just isn't the same player he used to be, and maybe his hip's still bugging him. And he was like, watch this. I'm going to score 7, should be 8 goals in 4 games. And like, shh.
I mean, I think the crazy part too is if you think about it, he had like 9 goals, like was it like 2 weeks ago or something like that, or whatever that was. He had like 9 goals. Then all of a sudden he's like, okay, I'm just gonna almost double that in the span of like 4 games. And you're like, what?
Sorry.
He figures out how to start scoring goals again. And you're like, okay, well, this makes things interesting.
Cool. Like, Patrick Kane, hello. It's nice to see your name littered across the sports or the box score again. In Ottawa, Patty Kane had 2 goals. Sam Lafferty had a goal. Overtime game-winning goal by the battery himself, Andres Athanasiou. Like, what?
Yeah.
Cool. And it was like, all right, so the Hawks have won. I'm not expecting good things going into Toronto. The Toronto game was Ryan O'Reilly's first game as a Maple Leaf, maybe second.
Maybe second. I think maybe first. I'm not sure though. Because was the trade Friday?
I can't even remember. All I can remember is the video of him squirting BioSteel on his head. Like, that's all I got.
That was Saturday then because they were at home because they played a back-to-back Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. So it's like, Ryan O'Reilly's there. Another kind of situation where Patrick Kane is maybe going to these teams where these guys, they're like, just kidding. We're going to take this guy. We're going to take this guy. And then he's like, bah! And if you haven't gone to the GM and told him where you want to go yet, can't really be upset about it.
Especially with the Rangers thing too, because it's like, well, you didn't say anything about going to the Rangers, and they wanted Tarasenko, and then okay, you haven't said anything about the Leafs, and they get Ryan O'Reilly and Noel Acciari. It's like you're kind of like your suitors are kind of like going by the wayside now because Vegas just traded for a defenseman in Mayo. Like who do you really have left that's gonna like want to take you at this point?
And the fun part is that after the Tarasenko trade, when he came and spoke out, he was like, I haven't even gone to Kyle and talked about like possible destinations. Well, sir, like, what do you expect to happen?
Like hockey's not going to wait for you.
No.
To say where you want to go. Because I know you have a no move trade clause, but it's kind of like, okay, well, you need to give us at least a list of like where you possibly want to go, and we'll figure something out for you and see if that team wants you. It's just like,
so we can like shop around, figure it out. But
shop
Toronto,
around.
in Toronto, Kaner was like, haha, you could have had this, or with Toronto, hat-trick Kane.
Hattie Kane.
Like, okay, thank you, sir. That game was like the Patrick Kane, Max Domi just display, because Kane had 3 goals and an assist. Domi had 3 assists and a goal. And then we get our new sweet little Blackhawk, Mr. Gutman, scoring his first NHL goal. Like, don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Well, and then Jackson Staubert is just like, here, let me get on the points here a little bit. And
yeah, let me get an assist as well. Like,
goalie, like you love to see a goalie assist. I mean, goalie goals are fantastic. But if you see goalies getting points, you're like, okay, well, there you go. Even the goalies know how to get some points.
When a goalie becomes that true 6th player on the ice, good things happen. We talked about it earlier in the season with Alex Stalock, because there was that one game the Hawks ended up winning where he was actively involved. Like, he wasn't just tending the goal. He was getting shots up the ice to players and this and that. When the goalie is actively involved in a safe and responsible way and doesn't have Steve Dangle yelling at them to tend the goal, this is like, good things happen because you truly have that 6th man advantage on the ice.
Looking at you, Markstrom from the Flames,
sir. Or that, did you see that video of the Russian tendy who was like drinking water while play was going on and the other goalie scored from the other end of the ice? Like,
yeah. Or, Peter Mrazek doing Peter Mrazek things.
That definitely happens. We then go to Vegas coming in to visit Chicago. And maybe one day the Golden Knights will figure out how to win in a shootout.
Well, it shouldn't have even gone to a shootout, but
it should not have gone to a shootout when there's still a 1/10 of a second left on the clock. That means it's a good goal.
at this point, what are offsides? What is goaltender interference? What's an actual goal? It's like the NHL forgot what its own rules are supposed to be like, because everyone knows if it's not double zeros on the scoreboard, the goal counts. So for them to be like, no, it doesn't count, even though the puck's in the net with 0.1.
Nah.
Plus the roof, like everyone was like losing it. Like for the fact you got a Patrick Kane clap bomb with like a 0.1 left.
Oh, there was like
how do you ruin that moment? How do you ruin that moment?
Less than a second left on the clock, and Patrick Kane just rifles one at the net. It goes top cheddar, where mama hides the peanut butter and the cookies. There is a 1/10 of a second left on the game clock. The horn had not yet sounded. However, that wasn't a goal. But, who are we?
The NHL just likes to ruin fun, apparently.
Yeah. Well, and the great thing about that night as well is Gutman got his second NHL goal that night. Like back-to-back games, back-to-back goals from the rookie. Love to see it. Tyler Johnson scores the game-tying goal. And then we have to go to a shootout because drama. And then Tyler Johnson is the only player on the ice who scored in the entire shootout. So I don't hate that either.
I mean, hey, when Tyler Johnson's healthy and on the ice, he actually scores goals for the Blackhawks. Maybe he just needs to stay healthy. And
Jack Eichel was the only Golden Knight who actually had like a shot that could be saved. The other ones just missed the net completely.
Vegasing?
Yeah, like
it's like what?
Figure it out. Like run some drills in practice or something, because their shootout loss record is ridiculous.
And the crazy part is, and I know we like him a lot, but Robin Leonard wasn't in net, so I mean, you really can't blame it on him for not stopping pucks.
No, you really cannot. And then we had the Dallas game yesterday. Yeah, yesterday.
Which was also another Patrick Kane and Max Domi game. Apparently, those two guys are like, put the team on our back, let's go.
We got this. And honestly, like watching that game, it was 3-0 at one point, and I was like, okay, they're back. Patrick Kane and Max Domi said, no, friends. Remember when Dallas came back in the third period to win a game earlier this season? Watch this.
At this point, just never count out Max Domi and Patrick Kane to like, yeah, we're going to play hockey.
I mean,
why not?
The chemistry is really starting to build, which is another reason where it's like,
not the right time, boys. Not the right time.
Not the right time. And then just continuing, I mean, since we're talking about things that have happened, the Hawks have made some moves. The first move, I will say last night, like my heart stopped for a minute because ESPN notifications are awful. Awful. All it said was Blackhawks trade with so-and-so. There was no details, none. And my heart was like, and so I clicked the notification to read the article, and it just takes me to the Ottawa Senators page in the ESPN app. No article, just to the Ottawa Senators page.
It's like Patrick Kane's reuniting with Alex DeBrincat in Ottawa. Not so fast, my friends.
And because I mean, it's really the first trade news that has really involved the Hawks this close to the deadline. But no, don't worry. We have received Nikita Zaitsev, a 2023 second round pick, and a 2026 fourth round pick for the league's favorite player, future considerations.
What he is the ultimate journeyman.
He really is. I mean,
he's like the Alice Galchenyuk of just figments of imagination who just want to play for every single team. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like he's an absolute legend at insert team name here at this point.
Exactly. I mean, he's just chef's kiss, the guy that everybody needs in the locker room, future considerations.
I mean, I'm really surprised Arizona's had gotten him yet and taken his cap, because apparently they love taking back contracts just to.
They absolutely do. And you know what? Future considerations, welcome back to the Chicago Blackhawks. We are happy to have you.
No, we sent him to Ottawa.
Oh, shit.
We sent him to Ottawa.
Future considerations. Let me rewind. Try again. We are so grateful for your contribution to the Chicago Blackhawks. You will be dearly, dearly missed inside the locker room and with all of the fans. And I hope that you actually pan out in Ottawa. The last time, we received you, we got nothing. So who knows what's going to happen?
Now get stepping.
Who knows what's going to happen? Because, we traded Malcolm Subban to Buffalo for future considerations and didn't even get like a bag of used practice pucks. So.
And right now he's playing for the Rochester Americans in the AHL. So, I mean, there you go.
But we still didn't even get a bag of used practice pucks.
Like, we could at least gotten a hat or something. I mean, or
send me a Buffalo Slug t-shirt. Like, let's go.
Or Buffalo Wings, at least. I mean,
yeah, something.
But I mean, Nikita Zaitsev isn't a really bad pick. I mean, former Maple Leaf, now former Sen. I mean, young, good. I mean, try to shore up the defense, which is kind of crazy because it's like the Hawks don't really need defense, but here we are
But
getting
also,
a defenseman.
he is more of an experienced defenseman, where most of our defensemen right now are just little baby defensemen.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a good presence in the room.
For the fact too, they got like 2 picks out of it, even though it's what next year was it 24 and 26 or was it 23?
It's 23 second and 26 fourth.
So I mean, you get a second round pick this year. You get a 4th rounder in like 3 seasons. So I mean, I think it was Grave from Sportsnet who put a photo up, and it was like a perfect like upside down triangle.
Oh yeah. So
upside down pyramid of like the 3rd round of like the picks.
If you look at our picks for the next 3 seasons, first round picks we have 2, 2, and 1. Second round picks we have 3, 2, and 1. And then third round picks we have 2, 2, and 1. So it is just like this perfect little happy pyramid.
I just like how our second round picks are just a perfect upside down like slice of, it's a slice of pizza really. But I mean, the fact that you got 2 picks and a player and you give up nothing right now for, I mean, you can't be too upset about it. But it's just kind of like,
well, and my thing
I
is,
guess we had to take the contract. It's like, here, we'll take them, but you got to give us some picks back for that contract.
Here's the best part: the contract actually helps us. Because we talked a couple weeks ago where we at this point aren't even going to meet the cap floor next season.
No. So
taking on that contract is helpful. And so I'm okay with that. Like
and picks. Like how like somehow Davidson's like, here, just give me the kids
this guy
and 2 picks. And we'll give you nothing.
Such a big cap hit. Give me some picks to make up for that.
and then just gives up nothing. Like watch it be like some like run of the mill who gives a crap round pick. Like let's say it's gonna be like a 4th or a 5th in like
it's gonna be like
seasons.
A 9th round pick, and they'll be like, wait, there are not 9 rounds in the NHL draft, and Kyle will be like, haha, gotcha.
Because why not?
Yeah. There was a guy online one time who tried to convince me that he was like a 10th round pick for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I was like, cool story, bro. There are not 10 rounds in the NHL draft. And he was like, yes, there are. I was like, no, except for really there isn't.
At one point there was even like 7 rounds. Like it was just, there was.
Yeah. He did not enjoy being called out on bullshit, but.
I mean, if you were like in the NFL or like the MLB draft, sure, but NHL is always, it's never past 7. It's there was one point there wasn't even a 7th. So I mean,
so that still makes me chuckle to this day. Like, I was a draft pick for the Pittsburgh Penguins. No, you weren't. no, you weren't.
You were probably picked undrafted, maybe by the Penguins.
No, not even that. The internet exists for a reason, and that's so that when people lie to you like this, you can just have receipts. And then today, the Blackhawks did re-sign David Gust to a 2-year, 2-way deal.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm almost wishing they would pay these guys just a little bit more, given what our salary cap looks like next year. But he's gonna make a cool $762.5 a season. I mean.
League minimum with an AHL part of the contract too.
Not gonna, snuff on the guy, but Kyle, we are gonna have some cap trouble, so maybe like just bump it up to 8. Like,
give him a nice crisp.
Give him a nice round number.
No, like, just give him $1 million and just be done with it. It's like
we're just gonna be the team now that starts signing guys at $1 million deals.
I mean, it worked for Marcus Kruger. It worked for this guy, and this guy. Anisimov, we'll give him like 1.2. Let's give this guy 1.5. He just bumps up. Like he's like the guy who should not be named just gave everyone like $1 million increase every year. You got a contract. You're like, okay.
He either like gave somebody $1 million and was like, come play with us. Or he was like, here's your $742 million contract for the next decade with a full no move clause. Welcome. So he had 2 extremes. There was really generally nothing in the middle. It was either insane or like, wow, what a great deal, which is why people thought he was a good GM. But then you look at things and you're like, except for he was not. And then just 2 hours before we hit record today,
If that, I would say it's probably in the last hour.
Yeah, the Blackhawks made yet another move with the Anaheim Ducks, sending Josiah Slavin to Anaheim, whilst we receive probably the most multifaceted player I've seen in a long time, Hunter Drew, who, according to Elite Prospects, is not only a right wing, he's also a D-man. So we have got a utility player on our roster now. He can go anywhere.
He's the Swiss Army knife of the Rockford Ice Hogs. Because oh no, he's not going to the Blackhawks. It's just a straight up minor league. Here's the thing. I think he's got like 14 points for the goals this year, and Josiah Slavin only had like 11 for the Ice Hogs.
Yeah.
So
Josiah's had a tough season, like full disclosure.
I mean, Rockford in general's had a tough season, and the San Diego Gulls are
they're bad. They're so bad.
They're under 30 points in the AHL this year. Like they've won 14 games total. They are.
Oh, I know.
They're better.
They're not great. They're not good. They were so not good that they decided to reach out to the Jacksonville Icemen and sign Travis Howe to a 2-year contract.
They have a goalie right now who only played in a couple of games. His goals against average is north of 40, and I'm not even kidding with you.
Oh,
he's had 2 save percentages that were sub 0.56.
Dear God. But at least
he's their 4th string goalie.
Yeah.
At least they've got goalie.
At least they've got a fighter now. They've got it's tough. It's tough looking in San Diego. But as of right now, hold on. Let me double check and make sure I'm not going to speak falsehoods. I'm going to the Blackhawks Twitter.
Falsehood.
Let's see. Just do a quick refresh. As of right now, those are all of the moves that the Blackhawks have made as of 2:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 23rd of February. Did I say 2? I meant 12. What did I say?
You said 2:42. You said 2:42. I look at my
as of
phone
12:42 Eastern Standard Time on the 23rd of February.
I'm like, did I time travel a couple hours into the future? I didn't realize.
Yes. We were talking about Doctor Who before we hit record. So yes, we have absolutely time traveled. It's wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. It's crazy. So
I'm waiting for the TARDIS just to pop out of my office window right now and just be like, what? I mean, David Tennant is back too, so I mean,
I'm here.
I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be upset.
And then if we take a peek at the week ahead, it's road trip time, baby. We got 3 road games.
It's not a circus. It's
not the circus trip, but it is West Coast road trip time.
Oh,
we have.
That means for us East Coasters. You ain't watching a hockey.
Hope you have week. Coffee. On Saturday. The Hawks are playing the San Jose Sharks, who may or may not have Timo Meier at this point. Who knows? That is a 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time puck drop. On Monday, the Blackhawks are facing the team that they just traded Josiah Slavin to, the Anaheim Ducks. That is another 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time puck drop.
So what you're saying is it's the worst team against the 3rd worst team. So it's the battle of the suck.
Don't worry, it gets better. Because on Tuesday, we're at Mullet Arena in Arizona for a 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time puck drop.
So you're telling me the Blackhawks are on a 4-game winning streak against really good hockey teams, now have a 3-game roadie.
And they're about to lose all these games.
That would be the Blackhawks. Or somehow they beat like playoff contending teams and then lose to the 3 teams that are with them in the bottom 5 of the league. It's like, oh hey, it's like the 4 worst teams in the league battle each other, not all at the same time, but like they all somehow face each other in some way, shape, or form. And watch the Blackhawks be like, "What's hockey?" Or watch them win all 3 games and go on a 7-game winning streak, and you're like, how is this team 23, 32, and 5?
Yeah, the only team that's like relatively not sucky for our next 3 games would be considered the San Jose Sharks. And they have a whole 2 points on us and are in 29th place in the league. Anaheim, we've got 4 points on them with a game in hand. And Arizona, they are just above the Sharks with 49 points in 28th place. Like,
like at this point, I'm kind of surprised that we're not even going to Columbus and face the Blue Jackets just to round off the suck tour.
Just to round off the suck tour, we are not playing CBJ anytime soon. I think we've already played our 2 games against CBJ, our home and away. So
that's what I'm saying. Though it's like it would have been funny for just like the laughs of like, oh look, we're gonna go and play like all the worst teams in the league on one road trip just for the suck tour, just that for funsies.
We're just gonna play all the basement dwellers this week. Like it's fine. It'll be a battle of the basement. But so
I mean, it's just like self-inflicted wounds to itself. It's like we're not the only bad team. We're going to play the other bad teams just for him to see.
All the bad teams are about to face off against each other. I mean, if the NHL scheduling department had, at any time made sense, Columbus would have been in this road trip somewhere. But here we are with a no. But
welcome to the NHL.
It is what it is. And I mean, I have nothing to complain about after this week of Blackhawks hockey, which is strange. I normally have something to complain about. There's normally something that it's like, why did this happen?
Blackhawks win 4 games. Max Domi has 2 multi-point games that just counterbalance. It's like 2 goals and assist in the last night's game. Patrick Kane gets 2 goals and assists last night as well. He's on 7 goals in 4 games, and you're just like, this team is winning against like the Maple Leafs, who they just lost to like last week. It's like, okay.
Well, and
this makes sense.
It's like not only did they win all 4 games, they won all of the games and all of the different ways you can win a hockey game. They won a game in overtime. They won 2 games in regulation, and they won a game in a shootout. So like.
And we almost had we could have had a buzzer beater on. Just like
rude.
What?
That's the only thing I have to complain about is the NHL. It's not the Blackhawks. It's the NHL. Do better.
Yeah.
Literally for everything. Like I don't even need to specify what you need to do better at. NHL, do better.
You're asking too much. It's the NHL.
Period. Do better.
It's the NHL. You're asking too much. It's like telling them to have fun.
I know that's not allowed here. That's what we have the PHF for, because the PHF is the fun league. They are the league where we go to have fun. And I had trouble. I don't know if you've looked at the number 48s. I had trouble choosing a number 48. Did you also have trouble choosing a number 48?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go first. Or do you want to go first? You go first. No, you go first. No.
I really don't have a 48, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't have a pick.
My option was Vinny Hinostroza. Because how can it not be?
Yeah.
Like when your options are Mark Cullen, David Kochi, Vinny Hinostroza, Wyatt Kalynuk, and Philip Roos. We haven't seen enough of Philip Roos to really judge.
The Hawks never gave Wyatt Kalynuk a shot at all. So I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't really that tough. It wasn't really that tough. It's just kind of like
it was like how I mean,
there's not a lot of 48s. So I mean,
there are not.
At least Vinny gave us some good memories, and
yes, until
I know
he's doing his thing.
I mean, I know he wasn't a Blackhawk when he did it, but him flipping off Evander Kane was kind of a legendary moment. So
look, everyone became a Vinny Hinostroza fan after that happened. So
yeah, but there you go.
But for once, we don't have to rant about things. I feel like we're really starting to get into this 2-episode format where they're not like an hour and some change long. And like, that's kind of it. Like the notes are done. We've talked about all of the things. It's a little crazy.
Wow. How about that?
Like, well, it probably helps that there weren't very many players to choose from the number 48.
No.
So
and there wasn't nothing to really rant about because the Hawks are playing well and there's been a couple trades, but it wasn't like blockbusters. So
I'm not going to be well for the next week until next Thursday after 2 p.m.
Oh, yeah, and that's episode 50 of the show too.
Mhm.
We're gonna have a special guest on for episode 50, and it's the trade deadline. Oh, what great timing by us to do that.
We might need to move that to a later recording in the day so that we can have adult beverages, because I feel like we're probably going to need them.
Yes, probably going to be the case. Also, since we also need a dagger on too, and
You're supposed to just say special guest. Way to ruin the least surprisiest surprise ever. I'm sure everyone is so shocked.
Oh, I've been doing pretty good.
It's true. It's fine. I'm sure everyone who listens is very surprised that she would be the special guest on episode number 50.
I think people already knew like 3 episodes ago that it was going to be her. I mean,
they probably knew at episode 10 that when we hit episode 50, we were going to have Courtney Dagger on the episode.
Sorry.
It's fine. So, my friend, where can the humans find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at OneTrueZach. That's only True Zach is actually spelled out like the number 1, not the number 1 itself, like the Oneaters. Instagram, Zach R. Martin 22. Article wise for Field Pass Hockey covering the Charlotte Checkers, it's FPH Checkers on Twitter, and if you go to fieldpasshockey.com, you can find all my articles there, or you just go to my link tree on my personal Twitter. It'll take you right to the webpage where it's all my articles all combined together. Beth, where people can find you on the socials?
So on the Bird app, you can find me at Wonder Beffers. That's like the word wonder, not the number 1, like that guy. So Wonder Beffers. And on Instagram, you can find me at Good Better Beffers. And you can find us, the podcast, on Instagram and Twitter at Talk Wo Hockey Pod. And of course, on YouTube at Let's Talk Wo Hockey. Make sure you've subscribed. Make sure you like the videos and like you leave your little comments and stuff. We like your comments. We like to read them. I try to respond to all of them. It is what it is. I do my best. I
do have to say though, I wonder with your tag, I wonder what happened to the Oneaters. So I mean,
I often wonder what happened to the Oneaters. They had like one movie, one hit. God.
It's that thing you do.
It is. It really, truly is. So, for me, Beth, for him, Zach, this has been episode number 48 of Let's Talk Wo Hockey, filled with all of our normal brand of chaos. We will see you guys on Sunday for the Wo Show. Best day of the week. Best day of the week. Wo Show. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Sports Network podcast. Now avoid the sun and go enjoy your game